Yo, welcome back. Hopefully my camera stays on. I had it on overnight. I just switched the plug though. Hopefully it's gonna keep this thing going. But what other way than to jump right into today's topic, which is compositing green screen content. I'm following the visual effects guide. This can be found on the website if you want to follow along. And without further ado, just jump right in. Hope you're having a good morning. So green or blue screen, excuse me. All right, so green or blue screen keying is the classic visual effects work that comes to mind for most people. A foreground subject is shot against a bright blue or green screen, which is then keyed to make it transparent, thereby allowing the subject to be placed on a new background. So we're gonna cover managing colors for visual effects, why using linear color space, pulling a green screen, key. Yo, Rana Joy, how's it going, man? Good morning. This is a good time for streaming, yeah. Yeah, the more and more I think about it, it's like what this is. This stream is definitely like a morning, daytime type stream. It's evening. Nice. Yeah, you said it was like 4 p.m., right? So we're going to see refining a matte, rotoscoping aux mats, lining up the background. 5:30. Much better than 4 a.m. or much better. I don't know how you were doing that. Seems like the people that watch this don't sleep at all. But I'm glad you're here. The keying process is a procedural method of generating a matte rather than the manually drawn mattes they used in previous lesson. Thanks. This is Chill Hop on YouTube. And I looked into it. I'm pretty sure I'm allowed to play this. I hope it don't get copy struck. But Chill Hop music. They allow for restreaming. So the keying process is a procedural method. The process of compositing with green screen is really an art unto itself, but a simple workflow can be followed for most keys. The trick is not to try to do everything with a single keying node. Focus the keyer on the fine detailed edges of your foreground subject, and then you can manage other areas with other tools. In the end, combining multiple mattes together will always get you better results quicker. All right, I'll check it out. Is that the DAWs? Wait. So managing colors for, Nice. I installed last night. I was doing a little bit of Ableton, more just kind of like working around, hanging out. So I'm going to try and do this time of day. I want to try and do more like educational style, and then during the evening I want to do more just like chill, hanging out, and like messing around with programs. I won't be like explaining every single thing I'm doing or trying to be, you know, they'll just be more casual in the evening. So you're saying I basically got pretty much all of them just to see what's out there. You got Ableton 12. That's the preview one, right? Oh, Bitwig. Only two you didn't get are Pro Tools and Logic. Logic I can't use because I use Windows and I can't be asked. True. Well, let me know. Let me know which one you kind of feel like you're drawn towards. So managing color for visual effects. Before you begin this keying lesson, we must cover some of the more technical aspects of compositing. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I know. This is like, so I'm like doing a streaming sandwich now. I stream in the morning, and then I stream in the evening. But I mean, that at least makes it possible, I think, for one to get to one stream per day for most people in most time zones. Should be. But color management is a critical part of the visual effects workflow, and the requirements for compositing are slightly different than editing or color grading. You'll start this keying job by setting up a scene referred color managed workflow. Oh boy. Gonna get that practical experience right now. The timelines bin includes a backups bin with timelines saved at various stages of the lesson, and a completed projects bin with finished comps. These bins are both available for reference and reverse engineering the node trees. Okay, that's cool. Media timelines? Backups completed? Oh yeah. You just wanted to see if you were missing out something by just using Reaper, and so far I've been using Bitwig mostly, as that's the one I've never touched before. Bitwig is by the creators of Ableton, and I believe it's free, right? Whereas Ableton is not. No, you can buy Bitwig. I thought Bitwig was free, and that was like the thing. Oh, it's very, very affordable though. Oh, I see. So yeah, but it's a lot like Ableton from what I saw years back. I saw that they were like it was like a branch off, a group of developers from Ableton. I mean, last night I went into Ableton a little bit. I'll probably keep doing that. I was moving around different programs and seeing if my computer would blow up on the stream. Oh, hardcore? Really? Hardcore for sound design. Interesting. So let's see, we open this, we go to the part 1 start timeline, and then we click the Fusion page on this dude. Here we are. We hop into here. And then this shot is Steve Vai music video, is typical of a green screen shoot. The first thing you might notice is that it appears to have low contrast and low saturation. Oh, this is good. I want to see how to do this. What's the RGB to Rec 709 stuff? This is often the case with content acquired or modern digital film cameras. Digital film cameras apply a very pronounced gamma curve to clips to achieve a higher dynamic range. To a much lesser extent, every HD video clip, Photoshop document, or web graphic has a non-linear gamma value based on either an sRGB or Rec 709. You're saying it has a grid thing, which is like node-based for sound design. It's similar to Pather in FL, which is basically like Fusion nodes, where each node is a plugin, and you can combine plugins to create macros, etc. Okay, I think I got that. But in Bitwig Grid, you can even create your own custom synths with modules. That's like the biggest selling point of Bitwig. So they have like a patching. Yeah, patching. That is one thing. I'm not even really interested in doing patching, like physical patching with the synthesizers, where you get the wire and you plug it into the next one. That's never been attractive for me. It looks kind of cool, but I use like on my previous stream, I was doing Serum. I really like Serum, that synthesizer by Steve Duda. Hello
and welcome to Bitwig Studio 3.
Okay. Yeah, Ableton has this thing called Max, which basically opens up the program for doing whatever you want. But I'm trying to stay like either in the presets, I mean not the presets, but like the default module things that you can kind of add in, and then also the synthesizers, VSTs, plugins that come sort of preloaded with stuff that I can tweak from there. I feel like if I went into this patching, I would get lost in a black hole, you know, and come out like a couple years later. like Jumanji, you know, like it's been 20 years. Like Rob Williams in Jumanji. Where was I? It's been 20 years. What year is this? So the problem with using nonlinear gamma curves is the compositing operations expect images to have linear gamma, not modified gamma values. So linear, straight gamma, not sort of this curve that we usually get. Why? Because the math used in almost every compositing operation works more predictably assuming images have linear gamma. So if you simply click the Fusion page and start working on your HD or raw content, you're starting out on the wrong foot. To composite, you first need to remove the nonlinear gamma curve. We've got to get rid of the curve from this green screen shot and convert it to linear. Then you'll reverse the process and ensure that the output from the Fusion page will apply the correct nonlinear. We want to, at the end, we want to take it away and make it straight, and then at the end put it back so that we could do our color corrections properly in the color page according to your output format. Sound confusing? Don't worry. Davinci Resolve handles all of this with very little effort for you. You just need to enable Davinci YRGB color management. So choose File, Project Settings, and Color Management. So File, Project Settings, Color Management. And then in the Color Science menu, you choose Davinci YRGB. Okay. You're saying that's the thing with Reaper, that anything that's not in the vanilla version, someone has made a script for it. Like the scripting in Reaper is so powerful. Someone has Max for Live for Reaper. Wow. Dude, I mean, I respect people that go about it that way, because that's kind of like the creative process is like, for a lot of people. For me, I used to be just like digging through the sand. Like that's what, like when I was younger, I used to just hang out and play around in Ableton, like, and so that was part of the creative process. You just like kind of go deep on like some random aspect of the program, and like see if you can create some cool sounds and like tweak it from there. But oh, this is cool. Node based. There's I mean, last night I also went into Unreal Engine, and Unreal Engine is node based. When you get into the material editor, and you can actually do logic and stuff like that. I thought Bitwig would be light years ahead of Reaper when it comes to MIDI and that kind of stuff, but it's not the case. Bitwig is a smaller team, I believe. Their pricing is a bit competitive, so there might be some trade-offs, but yeah, I actually don't know anybody that's used it before. I just know that I know it's there. I also know that they have really good like student pricing. Student pricing might be free. It doesn't have something as basic as a scale lock, but I did like the built-in stuff. So many synths and modules. It was very fast to make cloud music. Cloud music? What's cloud music? Like club. Oh. I was interested about cloud music. Oh, Reaper is $60. Cloud music sounded good. I was like, oh, is that like a genre I haven't heard about? So in the color science menu, we got to make sure this is YRGB, and then the metadata embedded in MPE tab. MPE tab. MPE tab. I want to see what you mean by that. So the note MPE is the note expression tab in the clip editor. Yeah, if you can check out, if you can get to the evening stream. I mean, it's like so late for you. I mean, because that's when I'll gladly jump into Ableton and, you know, do some stuff there. Yeah. Maybe you could watch the replay. You could watch the replay on 3x speed, right? Just do all the streaming in the morning at this time. Nah, I like that it's that this is only going to be going for like 2 hours, and then we do 2 hour stream at the night. It's actually a little bit more streaming per day, but spread out, more manageable, you know. But let's see, the metadata embedded in camera original clips carry information about the clip's gamma curve and gamut. The output color space drop down menu in the settings defaults to Rec 709 Gamma 2.4. That will work for our purpose, but you may change that in the future based on your final output. The color management preset primarily handles the feel of controls on the color page and how HDR clips are tone mapped for specific outputs. Again, the default STR Rec 709 will work for our green screen. And then tip, if you do not have a calibrated HD display connected to your computer when creating visual effects, it is more common to set the output color space to sRGB to match your computer display. And if you're doing what I'm doing, which is not recommended, then you should, what I'm doing is I have the eye saver mode on, so it like takes away the blue colors. So if you're doing color management stuff, you should definitely make sure to turn that off. But you want to click save. So we didn't really do anything, right? We didn't change anything. That's all the same. Oh, this is where you could enable HDR stuff. I was looking for this the other day. All right, so output. Let's just keep it same as, there was no change there. Maybe we want to change this to sRGB. That changes it. Whoops. Oh, that's cool. Is that new? Is that an Ableton 12 thing? I love pitch bend. It's old? Oh man, maybe I just missed it. Because that's a clean interface for modulating pitch bend. This. Yeah, because I would usually, if I did pitch bend, I would do it on, oh well this is, oh this is for MIDI. MPE, huh? I gotta double check that. So we click save, we close it, and then the image in the viewer now appears with more saturation and more contrast. Turning on color management performed a number of processing steps automatically. First converted the media in nodes to linear gamma. The second step is performed was to enable a lookup table in the viewer, so you are not looking at the linear image. Images in linear color space are rather dark and highly saturated and therefore unpleasant to work with. The viewer lookup table makes for a more natural viewing experience while still allowing you to composite correctly using linear gamma space. Okay. Let's see, in the upper right we can turn on the lookup table. Doesn't look like anything's changing. We could change this to something that we know is going to make it turn on. Wow. Do they have any recommendations? They say lookup table, you click the button to turn on the lookup table. If you don't use color management, you can add a gamut or Cineon log tool after every media in node to convert it to linear. A gamut or Cineon log. Then add a gamut or Cineon log tool just before the media out node. So you make that log sandwich. Color management sandwich. Do you use audio? Do I use audio? What do you mean? Like my instruments that I'm feeding in, or headphones to speakers? I usually work with MIDI. I mean, unless I find some vocals or elements that, I mean, the whole workflow, I mean, there's it's a, you know, it's a lot of, there's both there, but Mostly I'm using, I would say, great question, I'm using MIDI. A lot of the times though, it's like if you're moving the project along, you want to bounce it down or convert the elements to audio for further tweaking at a certain point. I used to do mostly recording stuff before, but not much nowadays. Yeah, I like I'll get samples and stuff and add those in, but then drawing out the melodies, I usually do that through MIDI. I do have a launch pad, or a push, called Push, and so for that sometimes I'll play in melodies, or I'll play in notes, or like mess with the automation live, you know, but that's also MIDI. So I haven't done much recording in from like real life instruments. All right, so let's see. If you are now able to composite using images that look correct, but more importantly, will act correctly during compositing. And when you switch to the edit or color pages, all the gamut curve corrections are managed automatically based on the output color space setting that you configured in the color management project settings. You used to do mostly recording? Yeah, I do almost no recording. I do have a mic here, but for the most part, it stays off when I'm in Ableton. You'll have to check it out, man, because like I don't know, I used to play around in Ableton a lot, back in the day. It was like all I did for programs. I was just working in Ableton. FL is super overrated. I'd say kind of same for Ableton. They both got super popular because of marketing. Doesn't mean they are bad DAWs, but they are way too popular for what they are. Like FL was like Adobe. They'd make it easy to pirate so people will get started with it, and Ableton would send their light version in every hardware you buy, and that's how I started as well. FL Studio, I mean, it's hard to compare FL to Adobe. I think they know a lot of people pirate it, but they like kind of let it go. Yeah, well, so does Adobe. I see what you're saying there. I see what you're saying. From my experience, I'm using I don't know if you need 6 DAWs, man. But you're testing them out, right? You're not actually like keeping them all installed and combining them all together. That's your instrument. Your instrument is, you have 6 instruments, 6 DAWs. Adobe makes it easy to pirate openly. I know people in real life who've worked there, and it's an open secret. Yeah. Yes, but you definitely lose features. That's good. I mean, that's on purpose. I think that's kind of cool. Each DAW is an instrument, and you have to combine them all and what they can do into one singular DAW. They do the same 85% for sure. I know this is actually like, there's like a deeper debate here, which is like, what exactly do the different DAWs do for you? Because a lot of the time it's just like, it's not about the DAW, right? I mean, it's like if you have a creative vision, that you use this tool to make your music, and it's just a tool. Or an instrument, you know, however you want to look at it. 5 to 10% of the time, they have something unique and exclusive. But some will make it easier for you to get to your vision. Yeah, I mean, there's got to be a difference there, right? And it is the artist, for sure. That's hard to compare. I don't even really know what I'm saying about that. It's subtle. Maybe you'll be able to tell us after you've used all 7. Or you try to make the same song on 7 different DAWs. That's an interesting idea. Like Bitwig Studio 1, they also have the clip launcher. The wide linear color space, because it keeps it's like an even from black to white, it's consistent steps, and then log gets all tricky. It could be the workflow, like Ableton. Yeah, like Ableton actually Ableton is support. I mean, it's Ableton Live. It's meant to be for playing music in, like capturing music live. Yeah, I mean it's really split into 2 kind of views, but there's a lot of support for live capturing of instruments into the program, and then people use it for live performances. So like, I don't know if you could do that with FL Studio, or I don't know if Reaper would support that. Oh yeah, it still looks the same. Wow, I remember this. I had this version, man. I jumped in maybe at version, I don't know when that was. Yeah, when did I jump into Ableton Live? I think it must have been I think like 2010. I started using Ableton. 2010. So 14 years ago. Because I was playing around with FL Studio in 2008 and 2009. And then I got Ableton, and I've been with it, like, using that ever since. Yeah, that's a while ago. That is a while ago. I haven't used it very much for the past year, or actually for the past couple years. But I used to really. That's all I did back in the day. Ableton is for live music. They made it that in mind. DJ and developer who made it for that. Yeah. Yep. I mean, I played around with that side of things on Ableton, but definitely like always used it more as a composition, like creating music tool. Yeah, so this is log, this is log gamma, and this is linear. Yeah. Oh, I've seen this. This is funny. He's speed running. I used to be fast with it like that. That's funny. What's it say? Blood is playing FL Studio ranked. Yeah, that's what I want to do with like programs in general. Just like speed run making content. Speedrun Resolve. Yeah, the thing is I don't have as much experience at all. Like nowhere close to as much time in the program in Davinci Resolve. That's why I'm approaching it from like learning this from the manual here. But like Ableton, man, I didn't even, for the most part, I just figured it all out just by messing around. Which it was definitely not the most efficient way to go about it, but back then I didn't really care. I was just hanging out in the DAW. After Effects updated their UI. I don't even have After Effects installed. I might do it after this. Let's see if we can make some progress here. Pull in a green screen. With the color management properly corrected, you can begin the keying process. As you know, combining shots requires a matte, a grayscale image that identifies parts of the foreground as transparent. Unlike computer-generated images, this live-action green screenshot does not include an alpha channel, so it is up to you to create the matte through keying. This is often termed pulling a key. Note, in this lesson, the shot you will work on uses a green screen, but the keying process works the same for blue screen. If you want to learn about aces and linear color space, this video is amazing. Okay, cool. I'll keep it on the side. In the node editor, select Media 1 and rename it green screen. All right, they say green screen. 2, in the upper left-hand corner, you can go to Effects Library, but you're looking for Matte category Delta Keyer. So we can just select this, Shift Space, Delta Keyer. Get it on there, Shift drag over this, and it's there. Background color, yoink it. If you are already in a dual viewer setup, then you're good, which we are. We don't need this. We can see the, are we? Huh, okay. That's weird. Okay. And then if you are not, then you can hit this button. The Delta Keyer is the primary tool used for green screen and blue screen. The term chroma key represents a specific, simplified process of extracting a matte based on a range of hue. You're saying don't install After Effects is blasphemy? Oh boy, I kind of want to see. I'm not a hater though. I'm not hating on After Effects. I like what they've done. I mean, it was a necessary, you know, it was a necessary development in the world of compositing and VFX and motion graphics. You know, as powerful as it is also very simple to use. Okay, so the chroma key, simplified process of extracting a matte based on a range of hue and saturation for wasting so much of my life. Yeah, so much time invested. That was kind of the point I was making, where it's just like the results, the things that people make in After Effects comes from just so much time, like so much passion put into that program. And it's just people like went all the way with these effects, and that Fusion really is just kind of newer. And there hasn't been as many trailblazers. Okay, let's take a quick look. Today, we're proud to announce the new look. Okay, I'm actually kind of interested in this. Huh? Okay, I mean, it actually used to be default. It was lighter. Is that it? Oh, that's it. That's it? They just did what? That's just color switching. Theme switching. Okay. It used to look like this. This is a monumental change. It looks like I mean, maybe it's just a color theme, but it looks like how it used to look like back in the day. By default, looks like a sort of revised. I mean, they're keeping their own aesthetic, I guess. Speaking positively, the added GPU support for user interface. Yeah, but is everything GPU accelerated? Like all the effects and... Yeah. So there's a speed boost, paste keyframes. Okay, all right, so it's a... All right, that's cool. That's good. They're making... I mean... Okay, so in the inspector, drag the background color eyedropper and grab that green. With the delta key, you grab this thing and you yoink your color. Astronomical leaps and bounds. Groundbreaking. For convenience, Fusion draws an underlay pattern at which you can turn off by going into the... You can turn that off by going where? Here? Oh, by clicking the 3 dots and you can turn off checker overlay that way. I didn't know that. And then you repeat for the other viewer. When sampling an area of the frame for a key color, select an area where the audience will be focusing its attention in the final shot. Doing so sets you up for creating an optimal key. Release this mouse button with the eyedropper to is near the guitarist's shoulder. Screen right. As you select an area over the screen color, holding control on Windows allows you to drag out a rectangle to select an average. Oh, that's cool. You can get an average of the colors by holding Control or Command on Mac. Instead of just... That's actually good to know, because it's always weird when you like select just one pixel, basically. Still can't group layers and only affects certain... Yep. It's too complicated, I think, for them. It's too, like, solidified in their architecture to go and change anything. They're not. It's just, it's like, you know, it's like the ground has solidified and they can't go back into the ground to change things. Because probably when they try, everything explodes and they don't want to rebuild it, which is probably the thing that they need to do. No, no, no. Not on. I gotta. No, no, no. Don't. That might be. That might be. I want to see. Wait, how do I gotta remove that. I want to remove that comment. I don't know how to do that though. Huh. I don't actually know how to remove comments from this from the chat. I think there's a way to wipe. If I just like wipe the chat real quick. Sweet. Let me see. Let me see if I can kind of like refresh chat. Refresh. That's not a. Huh? Yeah, if anybody knows how to remove comments, I wanna wipe that. Let's not talk about that in here. So release the mouse button for an average. And then the green screen, the green background mostly displays the checkboard. You've now created a matte. And then above viewer 1, click the. Yeah, I'm surprised there isn't. There's automatically deleted messages. Stream manager. Yeah, I'm in there. I'm in there. Legacy detailed. There's like auto deleted, but I don't know how to delete a message. Dang it. You can use the mod icons box to access a variety of things. Select my preferences, make sure to enable locate the message you want to remove. Okay, so you go to chat settings, select my preferences. I'll look it up later. Not seeing it. Okay, anyways, let's keep moving. Okay, so above viewer 1, click the color controls button or click the mouse button in viewer 1. To make it the active window and press the A key. Let's switch to the alpha. The matte for the live action shot is displayed in viewer 1. Oh, they're saying to put this over here and then put this one to the alpha and this one to what you're seeing, the regular view. And then a single click on the eyedropper typically produces a matte with lots of gray, semi-transparent. I also opened up Blender the other day inside during the stream last night. It was cool. It runs pretty smooth. Like I had a few instances open and it was still chugging along. So drag the gain slider slightly up to subtract more value from the green background. Adjusting gain too far will cause some of the white foreground to become transparent. So you only need to increase it a small amount. Staying under 1.3 should be fine. So let's see if we just bring this up a little. We start to see that it's removing the background. They said below 1.3. Right around 1.3 we see that the jacket starts to go. Actually that's that's pretty high. Alright, let's do 1.25. No, usually I don't. Well, the recent thing that I did learn, I guess, where I like really properly approached it was Unreal Engine. And the way I learned that was a little different. I was just kind of making stuff. I was like in the program trying to learn how to make the things. And then I'd be like, well, I want to learn how to how do I use the timeline to do animation? And then I would like use half the documentation and then like half watching tutorials, but it would be more kind of like, oh, I'm trying to make this thing. Let me pursue it that way. And that worked well, but I think this is more, I still think this is a good approach. I think what's happening is that we're all a little impatient still, just like going through this. Like if we just like get through these things, I know that it's like the concepts are all going to be covered and we'll be able to apply these things. And even if I don't expect it all to be memorized, like how to do every single node structure, but we'll at least have gone through it one time, that when we go back and we're like, okay, that's the technique, let's look up how to properly do that and use it. I just know that's going to be like a powerful approach. This is definitely not the ADHD approach. This is like the ultimate non-ADHD approach. But I thought about that last night, because last night I like opened up, I was in Unreal Engine and then Ableton and then Blender. And ideally, I mean, ADHD approach is like, people say ADHD when they aren't able to get things done, I feel like, as like a negative thing. But I don't think it really, if you can get across programs and like do the things that you're trying to do quickly, that's not really ADHD. It's just like successfully context switching to create the whole thing that you want. Everyone has it, yeah. 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 I don't know. Actually, I don't really know much about. I'm not diagnosed with ADHD. But I try not to watch too much TikTok and Instagram. I'm also trying to reprogram myself to, because I need to see reference stuff, right? So I should be watching Instagram, but I just want to like approach it more with more respect and more as like a study of being like, okay, like these are like looking for cool things, like taking note of how they're made, like studying them, rather than getting the experience of just like scrolling through. Because that's basically just like, that's like hard drugs when you're doing that. So you want to drag the balance slider to the right until it's at 0.3 or 0.4. Point 0.4. The balance slider takes more or less information from the colors other than the screen color. In this case, RGB. Dragging it to the left causes blue to be more transparent, while dragging it to the right causes red to be more transparent. Since there is a lot of red in this foreground subject, dragging it to the left removes some of the transparency from the foreground. Oh, that's tricky. TikTok rotting our brains? Yeah. Yeah. Well, you know, there's always something. Always something. Today it's TikTok. Tomorrow, or yesterday, it was just social media. And then before then, it was TV, right? So whatever. Even with the cleanest of green screen keys, such as you have here, you must refine the matte a bit to ensure that it's good. Refining a matte. In the inspector, you press the pre-matte here, and then the goal in the pre-matte matte tab is to select areas of the green screen that were not made transparent with the single click eyedropper. Selecting other areas will even out the color selection of the green screen. What? You got literally everything. I can't show that on screen. It's like, but you got the preview versions, I'll call them. I'll explain it off screen. You got all of the preview versions. You're gonna be good at installing those. Oh, you got Houdini. Rhino. Do people still use Rhino? Nuke. Nice. Are you gonna do all of them all at once? It's not, but you do. There's a lot of yeah. Okay, so you can use the clean matte plate node in place of the pre-matte tab for more control over the pre-matte process. I don't know what that is. I don't know what a grasshopper is. In viewer 1, drag a selection rectangle around the dark gray area to the left of the hat. When making this pre-matte selection, be careful not to get too close to the fine hair detail you're trying to preserve. This is a new thing. I haven't done this before. That's it? Oh yeah, cool. And it grabs that selection. May seem as if you have a pretty clean matte, but your computer screen can play tricks with the gamma in your image. To offset the computer screen gamma setting, you can make a temporary gamma adjustment to the viewer that will allow you to check the matte for unwanted semi-transparent areas. From the options menu in the upper right of viewer 1, choose gamma, gain gamma from the list. Let's see, gain gamma. And it makes that. I don't know what's a grasshopper. Drag the gamma slider about halfway to view any gray areas in the transparent background of the matte. The gamma adjustment usually exposes some small areas that can be removed, and then drag the selection rectangle across any white specks that appear close to the guitarist. Okay. What? Drag the gamma slider. Oh, about halfway to view any gray areas. Oh yeah, so the gamma, so halfway. Is the red? Is that what we're kind of noticing here? And then drag a selection rectangle across any white specks that appear close to the guitarist. But I don't see any. Is this supposed to be the one where we're doing the gain gamma trick? I only see right here. That looks like one speck. Oh, here's some others. Oh. Uh-oh. I messed it up. Let's Oh. We just kind of remove them that way, I guess. All right, this is new. That's what I'm talking about. That's why this is cool that we're doing this, because if I didn't read about this, or if somebody didn't tell me, I would never know about this workflow. During the pre-mat selection process and during other mat refinements you'll make later, do not concern yourself with parts of the screen that are not near our foreground subject. Those areas are best handled. Oh, so like what I just did, I didn't need to do that, where I was like grabbing the little dots on the outside. Those areas are best handled by other mats, but conversely, do not get too close to the fine hair details to prevent them from eroding. Stay away from the tricky hair. Watch the flow. Respect the flow. Those areas are best handled by other mats. Okay, so the pre-mat keyer is designed to remove noise from the background, but can unintentionally damage the soft edge of the main mat. In this case, the silhouette of the guitarists. So to fix this, we erode the pre-mat away from the main mat to prevent it affecting the soft edge. We can then add a little softness to smooth the transition between the pre-mat and the main mat. So we drag the erode control up to around 0.002 to eat away at any holes created by the soft edge. The erode, they're saying we drag erode up a little bit, 0.002. Right there, I guess. I don't really see it doing anything. Oh, I do. I see it on the hat. Oh, yeah. The total cost. This is. Houdini is 7K? Oh. Oh, for the indie though. I think I qualify for indie. Is this? Oh man. How much is Substance Painter? 200 a year. This is cool. I like seeing it all like all together here. $24K a year. Man, that's a lot. I don't want to use cracked software anymore, but it's kind of limiting because I'm not a huge studio, so I can't afford all this stuff. India's 400 for 2 years. Yeah, there might be. I'm going to be able to apply for the indie. Right now, I don't need to. Like, I gotta learn this stuff anyways first. But like, I pay for Photoshop, And I pay for I got this membership, or the Davinci Resolve full pack thing. I paid for that. I wanted to make a chart just to see how much I would have. Yeah, no, it's good to see this written out on like a spreadsheet here. I mean, of course, I used to use downloaded preview software, right? That's what it's called, preview software. But now, like with this computer that I'm using, I don't wanna mess with it. I don't wanna install cracked software, because I feel like that just sort of starts to eat away at the way the computer operates. I don't know. And then it's like doesn't have support. Yes, the preview versions. The testing versions. That's what they are. I mean, well, maybe not. A lot of people use cracked software for their job professionally, but it's what I'm saying. Like, for me, I always found that, like, if I wanted, I had trouble relying on the program for anything if it was the preview version. That might just be me, though. Yeah, I also have the Microsoft 360. But I mean, actually, I use Excel for my job, so that makes sense. Dado stuff are from R2R. Yeah. Yeah, I remember. They were always releasing preview versions. I've been using it for many years. They literally recompile the binary. I'll pay for when I'm getting a lot of value or making money. Yep. Yeah, I think that's like a very fair way to go about it. That's like the unspoken approach, which I think is valid. I think it's fair. I mean, the other thing is to get a job at like a studio that has like Houdini, but they want people that are skilled with the program first. So it's like a catch-22. What do you do? We want people that use this program, but no people can use this program. You have to be in a company. So preview software are great for people who are young or from third world countries, because softwares are not priced regionally. Yes. Yeah, right. Dude, somebody in a third world country, they cannot afford this stuff. Like, none of these. None of these are even like, in a place where you make, I don't know, maybe 3,000 a year, being like, I gotta spend 2 years' entire salary on this program? That's why it's so common. Yeah, I mean, dude, it makes sense. It's reasonable, understandable. It's the preview version. I mean, that's true. I mean, that's what I was doing with Ableton. No, Ableton actually was like the one program I bought at the beginning, but like the plugins, right? I was real slow to use the plugins, but then I bought the full versions of. Right now I have the Serum, and that is a real version. But I mean, dude, if you like it and you use it, and then you can get to a point where you can afford it to pay, then that's kind of like a big milestone. It's like an accomplishment. It feels good to be like, you know, I really like this software. I don't get that good feeling though with Adobe. That's why I always poop on it. Because it feels like they're just like, yes, give me the money. And it's like, okay. Like people who lived comfortably have to spend their yearly salary on a software. Yeah, that's impossible. That's why I moved to using Free and Foss. I love using Vital. It's a Foss alternative to Serum. Oh, okay. Oh, I haven't heard of that. I'll most likely get rid of them a few weeks later and reinstall Windows. Yeah. Yeah. But it's morally correct. It's objectively the correct thing to do. Yes. I don't know about that, but at the beginning, yeah, doesn't make sense to be like, I want to try out Photoshop. Let me just start paying full price for it. So we erode this to 0.002, and then in the inspector we can drag the soft range to 0.02. And what's that do? 0.02. And then in the inspector, yeah, to 0.02. Both the soft range and the erode are small adjustments that you may decide to come back to later in the process if the edges around the subject become too pronounced. In the inspector, we move on to the matte tab. And in the matte tab, it contains parameters for modifying the density and edges of the matte. It is arguably the most important tab in the Delta keyer because the quality of your matte determines the quality of your key. By adjusting the threshold sliders at the top of the matte tab, you clamp the black and white cutoffs points, and then values that fall below the low threshold setting are considered as pure black, transparent, and the values that fall above the high threshold are considered pure white. So as you make adjustments to the matte, zoom in to and or expand the viewer size to get a clearer look at the matte, especially around the fine hair details. And then so to clamp the black, we're messing with the thresholds here. So we'll see it with the high. We clamp this. I mean, we're kind of losing. Zoom in here too. Okay, but that's gotta be gentle with that, I guess. But this is gonna be good. Yeah, that turns that. Almost, yeah, Foss. My computer has been cursed with Adobe and Autodesk blasphemy. I need some. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I feel, yeah. But at least you got the right idea to reinstall after you kind of test these things out. Imagine spending $7K to just try Houdini to use a third-party renderer. Most software didn't have the indie version until like 4 to 5 years. What do you mean to do a third-party renderer? Like using Houdini isn't a renderer, is it? Don't you also need a renderer on top of Houdini? Like Arnold or Redshift or maybe whatever Houdini uses, which might be something else. We clamp these down, then to clamp down the white, they're saying to go to 0.75. So when refining the key, you are primarily concerned with getting good quality edges for the subject. The black transparent areas in the core of your foreground subject can be handled using various types of mattes. The next steps are very subtle Adjustments using the clean foreground and clean background controls. You generally apply these with an extremely light touch because they tend to cause harsh matte edges, but they can also fill in the small holes that appear in the black and white parts of the matte. As you adjust them here, you'll use a combination of the keyboard and the slider to make very small adjustments. So to fill in any black holes in the white areas of the matte, hold the command key and drag the foreground slider to around 0.0005. 0005. And then do the same for the clean background. Okay, so what are we doing? High thresholds. Like this. You say the free version of Houdini doesn't support third-party renderer. It used to come with Mantra, which was CPU only, and it took me 2 days to render 70 frames from my PC. That's funny. Yeah, I found that when reading the manual here, which is about CPU rendering. Seems like GPU rendering seems tricky. And you need like a whole third-party program. Yeah, imagine spending $7K on that and then being like, now I gotta buy Redshift or whatever it is. What is the renderer? What renderer goes well with Houdini? Oh, Mantra, Karma, and Redshift. Because I've used Redshift before. I feel like now it comes with Karma, which is their new renderer, but it's buggy and doesn't support everything. Octane. Yeah, I was using Redshift with Cinema 4D. Right, and then also Blender. What does Blender use? Enderman, Arnold. Never heard of that one. Oh, yeah, these are it comes with this, right? Yeah, so Eevees is a physically based real-time renderer. Cycles is a physically based path tracer. Before Maxon bought Redshift, most people would have to use Redshift or Octane, which was 90% of people. And then Blender has Cycles and Eevee, and Eevee is real-time, like Unreal, and Cycles is the path tracer. Right, okay. And you can use Octane or Redshift if you want, inside of Blender, right? Pretty sure about that. So, just wanted to see. So we're in the matte section and we clamp these things down, decreasing the high to too much. Decreasing the high threshold too much below 0.75 can cause. So don't go below 0.75 like I did. Let's hover right around there. Yeah, so you start to like lose the details or like the softness of the hair here. So the next steps are very subtle adjustments using the clean foreground and clean background controls. Clean foreground. Oh, these two here. Oh. Eevee is really nice. This is a nice showcase considering it's Real time. This is real time? This is real time? Say what? Dang. This looks like Unreal Engine, man. You can model and sculpt while... Yeah, I opened up Blender the other day, last night. I feel like I need... It'd probably be better because you're familiar with Blender, aren't you? Because it's tough to like just hop into a program without... I mean, I just have to like re-familiarize myself with things in that program. I was downloading some of the templates, or what is it? I was downloading the templates from their website, and I was playing around in there, just checking them out. But yeah, I don't know my way around the program quite yet. I know the controls, like the basic controls, but I don't know like going into the stuff in a little more details. Is this gonna be... Oh, okay. All right. I'm gonna save this and watch it at 5x. Save that. Cool, thanks. And so the next steps are very subtle. We're cleaning the foreground with this thing. Very subtle, right? I see it. Like in here, we want to get this looking there, like right there. And then the background, I don't know. I feel like we don't want to mess with the background too much. His arm looks like it needs some erode. Oops. Maybe not. Maybe it's okay. Yeah, did I ever tell you how I tried like listening to some books? Archive.org has like a library of stuff, and I tried putting the audio at 10x. And I was like trying my hardest to listen. I don't know how effective that was. Hard to say. Oh, is this the oh no, that's rendering. Fastest way to get brain damage. I don't know about that. Eevee Next, which is the new version of Eevee. The next version. Let's see. Drag the clean foreground to around 0.005. Is that what I did? I did 0.00001. Is this saying 0.00? Wait, 3 zeros? Yeah. Right around here. Alright, that was close. But even more, less. have to look into this. So this is, I mean, it looks like Unreal Engine, but it's kind of exciting actually. Maybe Unreal is going to have competition with Blender. That'd be pretty sweet. All real-time, polar opposite of 3ds Max. Unreal. Cool. Yeah, so, I mean, I kind of feel like Unreal is like unmatched right now with what it does. So, if there is another program that can kind of like do similar things, that'd be sweet. And if they're both free, that's even cooler. So they were the reason why Blender is where they are today. They donated over 2 million, and why the Blender did the user interface overhaul. 2 million does not sound like a lot. I saw the list of the donators to Blender and like the yearly like donations that they got, and it really doesn't look like very much. Not a lot, but Blender just gave those to devs. I know, but like, don't devs, if you're a developer that can make Blender, I feel like you can demand quite a lot of, you know, usually. But maybe if it's open source and it's like people love it, they probably are like, hey, like I want a little bit of money. I know I could make a ton doing something else, but I want to do it here, but it's still like a little bit of money. That makes sense, and that's probably what it is. That's my guess. It's probably all developers who are passionate with it, but still need a little bit of something. Like the creator of Cycles was one of the lead devs of Arnold, and after Autodesk bought it, he left and came back to Blender to make Cycles. That's what I'm saying. Like, if you can make a rendering engine, a rendering software like that, it's got to be passion for you. Yeah. That's cool. So we want to change from the options menu, we choose options. Choose gain gamma from the list to close the overlay, reset the gamma in the viewer. So we go back here and we choose gain gamma. We still have this here. We clean that? Nope, wrong one. But then we start to get what? Theirs is not like that. What is it? The erode dilate? No. Restore fringe? No. Let's just go back and kind of like see what we had. This was the soft range. It might have been because I was like selecting stuff like this. The key here. Gain. We just don't want to lose the hair detail. Let's see if we just balance. My guess is that it was from my selections all the way at the beginning. Like Blender has had the best Boolean system among every polygonal modeling software. Maya just got it same with Max, and it only happened in Blender because a senior dev from Google contributed the code to develop the feature. There. Wasn't selected. Yeah, and that selection got rid of the kind of buggy selection here. That's the power of open source, basically. Maya has 5 devs, and Max has like 3 people. They can't really compete with 30 devs who are simultaneously developing Blender. That's why with every Blender update, they add 30 features and Maya adds 20 in 20 years. Is that right? That there's only, you know, maybe you're joking about 3 people, but is that true about like how many developers there are? Less than 10 people? Really? It's not web development. Yeah, it's hardware or software development. Not much people can do graphics coding. Really, but it's such a small team. It's probably, well, I mean, it's like a couple developers, and then the rest are like support, maybe. Well, support, sales, and yeah, that's interesting. I'd like to look into that. It takes a lot of math. Not many people can do graphics coding. That's something I will not be doing on this channel. Because Autodesk makes less than 7% of their revenue from Maya, Max, etc. I use Fusion. I like that Fusion. These programs are robust, man. I'm surprised that it's only like, I mean, it's iterative when they're developing them, but I'm surprised it's only with such small teams that you're making it sound like. I can kind of, I mean, I understand, but still, 3 to 5 people, it would be, seems like very few. They make a bulk from Fusion, AutoCAD, etc. because they haven't changed anything in years. Yeah. Alias has been the same for 30 years. I don't know what Alias is. Why it's so solid. Oh. It's like they finished the program and they're like, it's perfect. We're done. So it will be possible to refine the mat to a point where it fixes it will be possible where it fixes every pixel of the frame without also sacrificing some of the hair detail. You'll find that for every shot, compositing with green screen requires multiple tools that work together. Alias, huh? For product surfacing. What currency is that? Oh. You can do them in sub D modeling in Blender. You want to make cool supercars. I mean, I thought this was possible in Fusion.
Is also known in industrial design and has
Oh, I can't wait to do that in VR. Oh, I can't wait to do modeling in VR. Oh, that's gonna be so sweet. Oh, I cannot wait for that. I don't know how I'm gonna stream in VR though. I think that's yet to be. No. I think I saw somebody streaming in VR. What they did is they had a camera on them, and then they're just like, it's like what I have right now on the stream, except instead of I'm like facing the camera or whatever, and then the screen is the VR view. I don't have a VR headset yet though. Wow, this was 2 years ago he made this video. That's a 2-year-old video on how to set up VR. But I'm saying like how to stream VR for Twitch and YouTube. Also, I'm very happy to see that my camera is working today. I think I need this cord. It's like, it's a tiny cord that like if you saw my wires right now, you would it would hurt you a little bit. Right now I have like one extension cord and it's like stretching and being held by the camera on the tripod, and the camera's like tilted this way. I'll have to fix that up. No, I like the blue. The blue outline is on purpose. I added the blue. It's energy, you know? It's actually a practical effect. That's just being captured in camera. It's not. I don't have a blue screen. Does it look like a blue screen? It doesn't, right? It's not. It's not a bug. Wait, let me see if I. Where are the Filters. Ugh. Wait. I don't know. It's not a blue screen. Whatever. But does it look like it's like a messed up blue screen? It doesn't, right? It looks a little different. It also looks cool when I do this. Yeah. It's like the Matrix. How are we going? What's happening with this tutorial? Are we almost rotoscoping aux mats? Your mat still has unwanted areas such as gray or semi-transparent around the lower portion of the guitar and a few white specks in the black transparent areas. Sometimes you won't be able to key everything out. So you need to pull out the digital duct tape, more formally known as auxiliary mats. Auxiliary mats are mats other than the main core mat created by the key. These aux mats help to patch holes, mat holes that are impossible to patch otherwise. Two auxiliary mats are used regularly on every keying job. One is the garbage mat that removes areas of the set not covered by the green screen. The second is a holdout mat. The holdout mat covers up unwanted semi-transparent areas in the foreground that the keyer didn't catch. Let's start with creating garbage mats. It's a glitch in the Matrix. I tried to turn it to green though. I couldn't figure out how to do it live. I'd have to. That would look matrixy. That'd look even more matrixy. From the toolbar, drag a B-spline and put it under the delta keyer. Select the... Alright, so we're gonna be throwing... They want B-splines. They want us to put it underneath. Usually I put it over top, but whatever. Doesn't really matter. Okay. And then we're gonna hold Alt, drag it into garbage mat, and then we hit invert, and it removed everything on the outside. Is not gonna be. I mean, our mat actually we had it pretty good, but whatever. You gotta go learn some DAWs. All right, man. I'm gonna be streaming. If you're up at 5 a.m. I'll probably be hopping into Ableton, or you could catch the replay. Anyways, thanks for hanging out. Have a nice evening. Later. I want to rename this GMAT for garbage mat. GMAT. When drawing a mat, it is sometimes easier to use a B-spline tool rather than Bezier splines, as you have been doing. B-splines produce smooth, curved edges without the need to manage handles. For consistently smooth curved shapes, when you're not concerned with making extremely detailed shapes with lots of corners, B-splines can be a pretty nice solution. So when you draw the B-spline, the control points you set influence only the shape of the curve. The control points do not define the location of the actual spline curve. That being said, it is best to start by drawing a very loose shape and then adjust the control points to create the curve you need. And in viewer 1, we draw a wide, rough shape around the guitarist. And then we plug it in as tip. Let's just see this tip because we've already done this. So similar to drawing a polygon spline, remember to close the mat by clicking on the first control point you added or by pressing Shift O. Oh, to close the mat, yeah, for the spline. And then once you control click drag and you get this preview, you can release it and you choose garbage mat. You can adjust the smoothness of a B-spline's curve by holding down the W key, selecting the control point for the curve and dragging left or right to increase or decrease the smoothness. Select the G-mat node, click invert, and then a basic rotoscoping technique is called divide and conquer. Divide and conquer bifurcates the clip with keyframes and continually divides each section with keyframes until the motion of the object is covered. This ensures that you only add keyframes when absolutely necessary. Move to the end of the render frame. So we want to see that right now we are in the middle. So, I mean, maybe we want to just make a little space for his head. And here too. Maybe it'd be easier if this section was raised. Also, want to make sure that we got the guitar. All right, that's the idea. When animating a spline, you can move the entire shape by clicking the Select All Points button in the Viewer toolbar and then dragging the points to a new area in the viewer. Moving the center X and Y parameter or the on-screen center control will not add a keyframe. And then you move the middle of the render range around frame 57. Adjust the control points, repeat the process by dividing the keyframe sections from frame 530 through frame 570 so that the animated shape fits the guitarist. You're at the moving shot, and then when you come to the point where you must move the entire shape, click the Select All. I don't think we need to, right? Whatever. That's if you're doing like a tight mask, but I mean, we're just demonstrating for showing like the outline. Yeah, that's how you do it. All right. And then pressing Option left and right arrows, or Alt left and right, will move the playhead to the next and previous keyframe, respectively, to help you more quickly refine the polygon mask. And then once you finish with the first half of the shot, divide the second half, starting at frame 570 through adjust the shape. Okay. So rotoscoping a holdout mat, another auxiliary channel mat you will typically create, does the opposite of the garbage mat. A holdout mat fills in any holes that appear in the white mat of the foreground subject. Some bright areas of the white guitar have caught green bounce light from the screen. To correct this, you'll draw another polygon shape to cover the dark gray area where the body of the guitar is located. So we go to 560 where we can clearly see the gray section. Ah, okay. 560. We don't have it because we're just that good at drawing the green screen. Although we do have these elements. I mean, maybe we did something a little different from their setup. I did go back there, but let's see. Let's just follow their concepts here that they're trying to cover. From the toolbar, add a polygon next to the G-mat and call it holdout. Let's call a, let's just do this, even though we don't have this issue. And then in the viewer 1, zoom in to the mat and draw a shape around the midsection of the mat to cover up the gray areas. You should be able to create this mat with around 15 keyframes. Okay, so we... All right. The hold-out mat must be connected to a different input of the mat control than your garbage mat. A hold-out mat is connected to the solid input on the delta keyer. So we put this, plug it in, we hold the Alt, solid mat. And then Option, Alt drag for hold-out, yes. To the delta keyer, and in the input pop-up to solid. Use the divide and conquer technique again. Adjust the polygon Bezier mat for the remaining frames. Divide and conquer. That's... Oh, so divide and conquer is like divide the keyframe, the frames. Like do the half steps. And then use the select all points button above the viewer, or draw a selection rectangle. Tip: an alternative to drawing a holdout mat is to create a very hard mat using the delta keyer and then connect that to the solid input. A note about garbage mats and holdout mats. Okay, but we want to divide and conquer a little bit. We go here. Oh, we got to divide this. Oh boy. But that's the thing, like if it's only like a couple frames here, then do we really need to worry about this? Like that's causing some issues. A little bit. But I don't know if it's even necessary. Do we just like kind of fade it out? Does it fade in and then fade out? Is that a thing? We turn the level down? Or the yeah, it might be level, right? What if we do this as if we invert this so that screwing things up? Okay, but then a note about garbage mats and holdout mats. Often people unaccustomed to creating green screen composites attempt to do everything in the keyer. Let me dispel that myth right now. Using auxiliary mats is not an admission of a failed key. The use of an auxiliary mat means that you are being smart about your time and are aware of the entire process. Use a keyer for what it's good at. Creating soft edges and extracting the fine hair detail. Use the auxiliary mats to avoid wasting time fiddling with keyer controls for items easily done with a spline shape. So lining up the background. You can only go so far adjusting the mat against a black background. Eventually, you're gonna get bored. No, eventually you must view the foreground over the actual background clip to get a complete picture of the matte quality. In the upper left, click the media pool button, and we're gonna drag the BKGD HD clip. Media pool BKG lesson. I mean, I guess we could just type it in BKGD or not. Keying. There it is. And then we're gonna view it. Oh. Oh. So close the media, press 2 to see the clip in the viewer. The viewer is empty. That's what I was saying. Okay, as there's nothing to see. Remember that the comp has start and end times based on the source clip from the edit page timeline. Oh, So if you view the render range, it starts at frame 530, unless the background clip you brought in also has 530 frames. It will not be visible in the comp. It's helpful to view the keyframe editor when bringing in new clips to see where the located time is. In the upper right, of the window, click the keyframes button. Ah, it's over here. And then by default, the keyframe editor shows only tracks for animated controls. You'll need to switch the filter menu to show all the tracks. From the filter menu in the upper right corner. Huh? From the filter menu? Oh, from the filter menu? In the keyframe editor, choose animated to display the filter. What? What? In the upper, what? In the upper right corner of the window, click the keyframes. By default, the keyframe shows only tracks for animated controls. You'll need to switch the filter menu to show all the tracks. All right, and then the keyframe editor now shows all the tracks, including the background node. It is clear now why the viewer is empty. The background node clip begins at frame 0 and ends at 73. This is a full 437 frames before the comp starts. You can use the global in-out controls in the inspector to slide the background clip into place. Select the media one. Ah. Ahaha. But I mean, and then we have to do a hold frame for like 500 frames? Well, okay. So we drag that over and then until it starts at 530. We can type it in here. And then now you are viewing the clip. With media 1 node selected, press F2 and rename it to background. And then in the upper right corner of the window, click the keyframes to close the panel. I still don't see it though. I don't see. Oh, there it is. Okay, sweet. In the upper right corner, click keyframes, click the connection line near the yellow to disconnect it, drag the output of the background with the delta key here, disconnect that, connect this to here, to that, and then put this into here, and we want to switch these, and there we go. To switch, because it came in when I plugged that in as this green line, which is foreground, I wanted to switch it. We clearly want this one to be the background, so Control T to switch these, and there you go. And that little mat that we made for the holdout is causing some issues. What if we, is it? Okay, so what if we keyframe this? We don't even need this, but I want to see how to use it. Hold keyframe. I'll just keyframe it on. And then it's basically done after this point. I'll turn it there. And there. So that's one way to turn it on and off. Cool. And now we have to do color correcting. So we want to, although it looks good for the amount of work we've done so far, the foreground and background still look like very different images. So we need to do color correcting now. Color correcting the background and foreground is done for two reasons. The first is to remove the green color that remains in the foreground, and the second is to match the foreground and background so that they realistically appear to exist in the same setting. Let's tackle the green tint issue first. The replace color at the bottom of the matte tab in the inspector already includes a fair amount of spill suppression. Select the delta key and in the inspector select the matte tab, delta key, matte. And then this is due to, since removing the green spill inexplicably linked to the process of extracting matte, you will sometimes create holes in your foreground. This is due to the replace color attempting to remove the green screen color that has spilled into the foreground. You inevitably must balance the quality of the spill suppression with the generation of the matte. A way around this dilemma is to set the replace color, the source. Replace mode? No, they say replace color to source. Okay. Set the replace color to source. How do I do that? Replace. Oh, replace mode. Okay. The replace mode to source, and then at the bottom of the inspector, set the replace mode drop-down menu to source. Oh, that's okay. What I just did. Setting the replace color to source. Reintroduces an amount of the original green screen pixels instead of trying to remove them. However, you are now left with the green spill on the musician. You can remove spill fairly easily using a color correction node directly after the delta keyer. So right after this fellow right here, we could color corrector, and we could yeet, or we could, what do they recommend? From the toolbar, insert a color corrector, and we're gonna do correction is suppress. Ooh, okay, this is new stuff. Suppress, and then zoom in to the viewer as far as needed to view the changes as you reduce the spill colors. To suppress, the suppress wheel allows you to drag the control points for the desired spill toward the center, thereby reducing its saturation. Ah. Oh. In many cases, spill suppression can produce a noticeable reduction in image brightness. You can counteract this by slightly raising luminance. With the color corrector node selected, press Ctrl P or Command P on Mac to disable the spill. Ctrl P. Turn it on and off. Actually, I want to turn my monitor to full color mode so I can see this better. So this is on, this is off. I mean, the saturation goes down definitely, but it's like I can see it on his cheeks. It was like, has some green here. Oh, and his glasses here. That's cool. Never used that before. And then now you can focus on matching the foreground and background. You can choose to perform the foreground color correction in the Fusion page by adding additional color corrector nodes, or since you have the world's best color grading tools on the color page, you can perform the color correction there. So sending a matte to the color page, as you have experienced, the Delta Keyer is an amazing tool for green screen shots. And although the Fusion page also includes extremely adept color correction nodes, Davinci Resolve offers world-renowned color grading tools on the color page. So in some cases, you may want to use the two pages together for compositing a shot. In this exercise, you'll use the matte from the Delta Keyer to color match the foreground and background in the color page. It's a simple process to show you how easy it is to bring mattes from Fusion into the color page. So adding a second media out node. The main requirements in sending the matte from the Fusion page to the color page is adding a media out node. So we can, that's right. So from the, we can create a media out, and we just plug this in. And then the first media out node in the node editor always goes to the, wait, I want to make sure that I've been playing music that, I hope the soundtrack I've been playing is all chill hop. Probably isn't, right? I'm probably gonna get copy strike. Dang. Let me just check that real quick. Oh, I don't even know where this is. Okay, whatever. Whatever, we'll find out afterwards. So, we drag from the color corrector to a media out, and that will make it so that we can access it in the color page. We go into the color page here. We will have another, I thought it was a thing. I thought we got another thingamajig. Let's see, the first media out node in the node editor always goes to the edit page. Additional media out nodes go to the color page. Let's just make sure that we have, yeah, we have media out 1. And then this is media out 2. Setting up the color page, click the color page, and then the green screen clip you were working on in Fusion is now currently selected in the color page. You need to add a source that represents the media 2 node from the Fusion page. Oh, okay. So in the node editor, you right click, we go here, and then we right click, add source. And it automatically is like, oh yeah, that's the media 2 that you've been talking about. This one. It's over here. That's how to do it. You right click, add source. After you've set it up properly, by just adding it to a media out, it will pop up. And then the source is added as a green icon directly under the RGB source from the edit page. Oh, this is cool. This is like how to properly color correct from the Fusion page to the color page. And so this second source is the media 2, and you can use it as either RGB or an alpha channel, since it includes both. For example, we'll use the second source as an alpha matte. So you drag the output of the second source to the key input, so we could use it as an alpha matte. What? Why? Does it do anything? Looks like it does. Drag the output to the second for the key, and then you now have a mask connected to node 1, so that any color corrections you do will be limited by the mask from the Fusion page. Using the color page gamma wheel, lower the master wheel, push the color toward yellow-green, and lower the overall saturation for better. And we're just doing that in one place? We're just using this one. Oh, it's only affecting our map. Oh, right, of course, yeah, right. So it's just the guy, right? Because the mask, the green screen came out with a mask or a matte. This, so this is being applied. This is being used as a matte to select our guy that we're now color correcting with this stuff. They're recommending that we lower the master wheel, make it a little darker. Lower the master wheel. Or which one? Master. Push the color towards green, yellow. Make it a little darker. Push it towards green, yellow. I don't know if they're talking about. Okay, let's just try our best. Let's just look at this. Tint to look like it was going in the right direction. A little more green. Actually, that looks pretty good. Okay, I mean, that just looks pretty good. Maybe darker, less no. Alright, whatever, that looks pretty close. The main point of this green screen lesson is not only to teach you the steps in setting up a green screen key, but perhaps more importantly to show you that keying a foreground subject is almost never completed using only one tool. It's far more common to employ multiple techniques to address separate areas. In the end, if you learn to break down the foreground into its own small problematic areas, you can address each area with different tools to get the best possible results. If you stopped here, you would be rather pleased with the results we've achieved in such a small amount of time. However, you can also get the extra step and make it really special by continuing on with Appendix A, which will introduce you to additional color correction step called a light wrap. Oh, dang. It's after 10 and I mean, the plan was, oh, and the camera's out now. I want to learn how to do a light wrap though. I want to know how to do light wrap. And I want to finish this lesson today. But so lesson review but that is it. I mean, oh, in appendix. Okay, so we can do it another time. So that's it. All right. So we've completed this. That's complete. There we are. That's green screen. Green screen. And nice little side conversation about all things digital media. But yeah. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for watching. I will catch you next time. Or actually, I'll be here. I'll be back in the evening. But thanks for hanging out. Thanks for watching. See you next time.